Welcome to the IntelliLearn video library, Converting Fractions to Decimals. You may be required to convert a fraction to a decimal in a clinical environment. For example, after performing a medication calculation and arriving at an answer expressed as a fraction, you may need to draw that volume into a syringe, whose increments are given as decimals, not fractions. Short division will be used to convert a fraction to a decimal in the following examples. Example 1. Convert 2/5 to a decimal. 2/5 is 2 divided by 5. You must always place the numerator, in this case 2, under the divide sign. To that, you add a decimal point and some zeros after it. This will provide a few decimal places of accuracy in the final answer. You now ask, how many times does 5 divide into 2? The answer is 0 with a remainder of 2. The 0 is placed above the divide sign, above the original 2, and the remainder of 2 is carried to the next digit, making it 20. You then move to the right, and when you encounter the decimal point, you place it directly above itself, above the divide sign. Moving right, you now ask, how many times does 5 divide into 20? The answer is exactly 4 times, with a remainder of 0. The 4 is placed above the divide sign, directly above the 20, and there is no remainder to carry. Moving right, you now ask, how many times does 5 divide into 0? The answer is 0, which is placed above the divide sign. Again moving right, you ask, how many times does 5 divide into 0? And again the answer is 0, and is placed above the divide sign. This process will repeat itself forever, and the answer is 2/5 equals 0.4 when expressed as a decimal. You expect an answer that is less than 1, since a starting fraction of 2/5 is less than 1 whole. Example 2. Convert 4/3 to a decimal. 4/3 is 4 divided by 3. You must always place the numerator, in this case 4, under the divide sign. To that, you add a decimal point and 3 zeros, since you must give your answer to 2 decimal places of accuracy. You now ask, how many times does 3 divide into 4? The answer is 1 with a remainder of 1. The 1 is placed above the divide sign, directly above the original 4, and the remainder of 1 is carried to the next digit, making it 10. You then move to the right, and when you encounter the decimal point, you place it directly above itself in the answer above the divide sign. Moving right, you now ask, how many times does 3 divide into 10? 3 with 1 left over. Again moving right, you now ask, how many times does 3 divide into 10? 3 with 1 left over. And finally, how many times does 3 divide into 10? 3 with 1 left over. As you can see, 4/3 is equal to 1.33 recurring. This number will never end and needs to be rounded as per the question information. To round this to 2 decimal places, count 2 digits after the decimal point and look at the digit after this. Since this is less than 5, the previous digit, 3, remains as is, and all digits after this are dropped off, giving a final rounded answer of 1.33 to 2 decimal places. You should expect a decimal answer larger than 1, simply because a starting fraction of 4/3 is larger than 1 whole.